point. Now, performance-wise, the iPhone 5 has that Apple A6 chip inside of it, a dual-core CPU with 1 GB of RAM on every single model of the iPhone 5. Now, what I can tell you is about the performance is that, first of all, let me get one thing out of the way. I'm pretty much going to be talking about the performance side of things as opposed to basically how it performs this year versus how it performs basically the fact that it's a 9-year-old phone. You know what I mean? Like, as I stated before with the camera, if a manufacturer came out this year and put out a phone with this type of performance, with this type of RAM, I think it'd be pretty embarrassing, and I don't think that phone manufacturer would be around much longer. But the fact that this phone was a 9-year-old phone, that's kind of where I'm getting at. So with that being said, the performance of this phone is not as bad as one might think. And it's so surprising because an iPhone 5, you would just think that, oh my god, it's so slow, you can't even do anything on it. And yes, it's slow, but you still, have the ability of doing some things on it. Like, it's not an outdated, crazy, unperforming phone. Like, this thing still turns on, it still has a lot of capability, and I think that in and of itself adds a lot more character to this device. And the fact that, it was supported for so long and it just recently or, 2 years ago stopped getting support is a pretty crazy thing to me. So day-to-day tasks, I think a lot of people would probably be okay with it. If you're wanting to go ahead and, kind of just take phone calls, message people, go on Instagram, Snapchat, and do very light tasks, nothing super crazy, then you're probably going to have an okay experience with this type of phone. But if you're somebody who wants to edit photos and videos and do a bunch of montages and, have just a TikTok device that you want to just film a bunch of stuff out and upload, you're probably not going to have that great of an experience. It's going to be very slow. A phone like an iPhone SE, the first generation, is going to do you much better than the iPhone 5. And there's not really a whole lot of capability that this phone has that wouldn't really, be fixed with going up to an iPhone SE. You can pick up those phones for $50 versus $30 that the iPhone 5 is selling for. So that in and of itself is a pretty big reason why I would probably recommend more people to pick up an iPhone SE, the first gen or the second gen or whatever, over this type of device. But with that being said, the iPhone 5 does still have some capability. It's definitely not going to, convince me to go and pick up the iPhone 5, and I'm not hoping to convince anybody that the iPhone 5 is still a usable phone by any means. It's still a usable phone in the sense that it'll turn on, it'll go ahead and do tasks that you want it to, and it's still surprisingly pretty okay, but I wouldn't recommend it to people. I don't want to get into people's heads that if you pick up an iPhone 5, it's going to be like an iPhone 12 replacement. That's not necessarily going to be the case. You're definitely going to feel like you have a slow phone and an outdated phone, but it's not going to feel like you have a unusable phone. That's pretty much the best way I can put it. So in terms of performance, that pretty much covers it up. Now, when